In this video, I'm telling you 5 things I wish I knew when starting to play Valorant. My name is Buster, and on this channel I make educational Valorant content for you to improve at the game. If that interests you, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss out when I get new videos for you guys. With that being said, let's get into the list. The first thing I wish I knew about when starting out is bonus rounds. Bonus rounds is an excellent way of managing you and your team's economy to get an advantage in the game. Bonus rounds is when you and your team keeps the guns that you had in the previous round to save money, and if you lose the round, you still have money to full buy rifles in the next one. A good example of this, and when this is popular, is if you win the pistol round, buy specters with all your money because the enemies are on an eco round, and then decide to keep your specters after winning versus the eco. Even though you are making your chances lower of winning that particular round since your enemies has rifles and you don't, the money you're saving by keeping specters and not wasting those 1600 credits is gonna matter. If you lose the round, you can buy rifles on the following. This was something I had never heard of when I started out, and it took me a while to get a hang of it, but it's a very effective strategy when buying. The second thing is baiting and trading kills. I put both of these into one because they relate to each other in the way that a lot of people don't exactly understand that they might be baiting. If you're not familiar with the term baiting, it's simple as the name implies. Using your teammates or team as bait for you to get into a better position. The most common definition of baiting is doing something like camping in spawn and letting all your teammates die before going in and doing something. This is not, however, the only way of baiting. Baiting could be something as simple as not peeking with a teammate when they peek. That's why I put these together, because you need to realize when you could be getting a trade kill instead of just sitting back and doing nothing. Whether it's a conscious decision or not, and I don't believe most people do it consciously, you need to remind yourself not to do it to maximize your chances of winning. Third thing is fake defusing. Fake defusing is when you tap the spike shortly instead of sticking to it and defusing it. Faking, as it's more commonly called, is a great way of baiting out the enemy by making them think you're defusing the spike and therefore not being able to shoot back if they peek you. That's why it's important for you not to make any sounds while faking, as this will reveal to the enemy that you're not defusing and they can just keep hiding. Using this in a clutch situation can be really useful to get the last kill you need. Thing number 4 is man advantage. Having the man advantage is when your team has one or multiple more players alive than the enemy team has. This is the biggest type of advantage you can have in a game of Valorant. This is because having more players alive allow you to hold more sites or hold sites better, taking duels together and more. Why I'm covering this is one of the things I would have wanted to know when I started, is because if you don't play correctly when you have the man advantage, it's easy to lose it and not capitalize off it. There are a couple of ways to deal with it. One is, for example, if you're in a 2v1, you should try your best to play with your teammate and not split up. The only time you should split up is if you're defending, the enemy has a spike and you have no idea where they could be going with it. What I would do in a situation like this is having one teammate play far back for information on each site, and when you see the enemy you quickly call for backup and then you retake the site together. Going in together will make it super hard for the enemy to kill you both compared to if you would push one by one. Pushing one by one in any situation is an easy way to minimize your chances of winning. Another situation where you could have the man advantage is in a 5v4, for example. If you're in one of those scenarios, you should try to avoid pushing, as there's no real need for it. This dying will minimize the chances of winning the round dramatically, and you're already at an advantage, so you don't need to take any risks, as in most cases the round is already yours. The fifth thing is how to peek properly. Mastering peeking is something very advanced, and I can't go over it all in this video, but there are so many newer players that have no clue how to peek properly at all. Knowing how to peek well can be a key difference in winning fights. Yes, you can have the best aim in the world, but wide peeking into an operator is not gonna end well for you. There are a couple of main ways of peeking. First, there is wide peeking, which is when you hold in A or D and run out very far to peek. This can be good versus rifles, as it might be hard for them to track you fully and hit you with their spray. There's also jiggle peeking, which is a very good way of clearing out positions without fully revealing yourself, in case there might be multiple enemies holding. This allows you to go back and take cover quickly if there are multiple enemies there or you feel like you're in harm's way. There's also shoulder peeking, which is when you expose a super small part of your body and quickly peek and go back. This is often used to bait out a shot from the enemy so you can get information on where the enemies are. Knowing when to use each of these peeks is key, but perfecting them is gonna take a long time. If you wanna rank up in Valorant, check out the plays on screen right now for some tips on that. That's all I got for today. See you next time.